Okay, so I'm going to take you quickly through how I made my Bitmoji email signature. And so all I really did use was like kind of three shapes and creating this ribbon behind me and kind of in front of me down there. For the tips of the ribbon, under shapes, there is arrows and the chevron. So I use that chevron right there for the tips of the arrows. And then the rest of the ribbon is rectangles I put in there. I had to connect a rectangle to the chevron because you can notice how the chevron is pointy on one side. And then for the back of the ribbon, under the line tool, I use the polyline to kind of connect those back pieces so you can see the ribbon showing it as one continuous ribbon wrapping around. And so I can kind of show you over here how I did that. And so first, obviously, you want your Bitmoji that you're kind of going to design around. So I can just find one that I like. I'm going to go with this guy here and drag it over. And so I do need to update my signature because you can see my Bitmoji has changed a little. So I'm going to design my Bitmoji ribbon around this guy. And so the first thing I do is I take those rectangles and I kind of figure out how I'm going to put those rectangles in there of where I want my text to be. So the last one had 4 parts of the ribbon, so I think I had my name on one. And then I can copy that. And then I'm going to have my job title on one. And then I'm going to have my school that I work at. And then I can have my phone number or contact information. And so you can have as many parts of the ribbon. I can go to 3 pieces or just 2 pieces, whatever you want to share. And so I kind of take that ribbon and kind of design and adjust where I want those ribbons to be going and covering. And I can also play with different links too to kind of give a little more depth. And so maybe I want that one to kind of be hidden behind me. I could do that. This one I'm going to leave in front of me for my phone number, or for my, yeah, I think that's where my phone number was. Just add, like I said, a little bit more depth to it. And then the rest of these can just go straight behind me. So Control Shift down those. I'm going to go to Shape, Arrow, and then Chevron, and kind of pick what side I want my chevron to start on, and then kind of follow that through. I'm going to go ahead and group those 2 pieces together. That way if I move them or resize them, they're going to move and resize together. And if I edit them as well, they'll edit together. I've got to add that chevron here. And so I kind of want to see it's going to start here. It's going to go over, loop back, over, loop back, over, loop back, and then ending here. So this is where I want my chevron to go. Shape, arrow, chevron. And then right click, rotate, flip horizontally so that way it is facing the right way. And then group those 2 together. And so I do like to remove that line border around it just so it's just a solid ribbon. And I can always change the color as well pretty easily. Let's do like a tealy one. Okay. And I do want a little bit of space between these bars. That way you can kind of see that back ribbon wrapping around. I think that looks pretty good. So then from here I go and select that polyline tool. And so I follow the ribbon. And it's just 4 clicks. Each corner that it's connecting, I kind of click, click, and click. And so then I would do that for all of my ribbons. So you can't really see that one because it's behind me, so I'm just going to take a guess. And then do the last one. And if I mess up on my ribbon, that back polyline right here, I can always just use the mouse and double click it, and then I can edit those points of where I touched to kind of straighten them out. So I'm going to select all 3 of those, take off that line, and then make it a shade darker because it's in the background, and put it back behind there. Okay, and then once I see this ribbon, I can always, it's just easy to just click and kind of use my arrows to kind of edit and move it however, whichever direction I want it to go. And then double click on that polyline shape and then just click to edit those. And so it's a lot of like fine tuning. I can see there's a little polyline corner popping out there. So I can always zoom in And then with my mouse, double click on it and kind of put it in there so it's kind of right exactly precise where it needs to be. That's just the perfectionist in me. I think it looked fine before then. And then zoom back out. Okay, and so my ribbon is pretty much done. Like I said, I can go through and find little edits here and there to make it perfect. No, that did not make it perfect. Okay, and now I'm ready for the text. And so then I'll add text boxes. I could also, on some of these just plain rectangles, just double click in it and then add my text there. Yeah, make sure it's centered. Saying like this is where I put my job title. So I click there. Do white. Maybe do wired one, bold. And so then you can kind of play with your fonts and your colors that you want for that. And so I usually keep my job title, school, and contact information kind of like basic and easy to read. And then I'll do the signature part with the cursive or the script. So that was job title. I think this was the school that I work at. And then that was my phone number. You can always click there, format paint there, so it does it the same. Format paint, oh no. Click number, format paint there. They're the same, and then just left align it, and then I'll just kind of like space it out to where I want it to be. Same for these guys. Or you can just do the text box. I usually do the text box, that way I can just, it's easier for me to like move and maneuver it where I want it to go. So for this one, I think let's do white text. I definitely want it centered. And so then I usually do dancing script, and then I'll also change, see how long you are. That's probably good. And I'll just change that first letter. Usually the capital letters I don't like on some of these fonts, so I'll mix them together. So I did mark script for the capital letter, dancing script for the lowercase letters. Change that to mark script. And then put it where I want it. And sometimes with working with the white and the transparent background, it gets lost a little bit. So I go to Format Options, and I'll add a drop shadow. And so it kind of is like a little faint shadow around it. You can always play with that. I like a sharp, crisp color, so I always take the transparency down and the blur radius down to kind of give that more defined shadow underneath. And you can always play with the angle on which the shadow is going and then how far that shadow comes out. And so that's how I do like the cursive part. And that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward and simple. Sometimes you can look in this letter right here and you can see the J is kind of cut off. And that's just because that text box is just too small. And so if I widen out that text box, it kind of like alleviates those cuts. And so then I would just go through and just move it up. And that's pretty much straightforward. I'm just going to play with it and fine tune it so that it's perfect. I hope you enjoyed.